Hey everyone, I'm Kate, and here is a practice for when you've got nothing left. I had a friend in college who used to lay on her bed in our apartment and just yell that she had nothing left to give. And while it was funny, sometimes it actually is reality that you just feel like you have nothing left to give. So here is a yoga practice for those days when you've got nothing left, but you still want to give yourself something. Grab a couple of blocks or something to support you on your journey for the day. Maybe a blanket or a pillow for underneath your head. Find a quiet spot, roll out your mat, and let's do this. All right, so go ahead and lay down because you know you want to anyway. Grab a pillow, grab a blanket, whatever it is, and you're gonna put it underneath your head and lay down. And you know what? If this is where you stay for the rest of the class, then this is where you stay for the rest of the class. Maybe this is just what you need. So go ahead and close your eyes. If your low back feels tender here and you aren't ready to stretch your legs out, you can keep your knees bent, feet wide, and let your knees just fall in toward each other. That's a little bit more restful than just kind of hanging out. And just settle in. So maybe you're tired from a busy week or from a mentally draining day. Maybe it was a physically exhausting day. Whatever it may be, see if you can relax here enough just to kind of tap into that place where maybe there's a little bit more energy, or at least you can kind of start to shut down enough to recharge. How's that? And as your body starts to relax into the floor, let your breath find a slower pace. And just tune in. Do a quick scan of your body and maybe even ask yourself what it is you need today from your practice. Maybe you just need to lay here and not think too deeply about anything else. Make it a point to listen to what your body needs, even to what your mind is asking for. And you're going to start to move your fingers and wiggle your toes if you've decided to come along for the ride, that is. And then you're just going to bend your knees and walk your feet in and come to roll onto your right side. And you can keep the blanket right under your head and just get cozy here for a moment. And then take your right arm and stretch it straight in front. And you're going to take your left palm and your right one, and then start to walk your left hand a little bit farther away from you. And when you inhale, take your left arm up, and stretch it all the way over to the left. And you can keep your gaze straight up toward the ceiling. You can look across to the left. Just take a few breaths here. It's a pretty deep twist. So if that left shoulder is still floating up off the floor, it's all right. Let's see if you can relax it down. And soften a little bit more. And then bring yourself back up through the middle and shuffle your hips over, kind of reset. And we're going to do the same thing to the left side. So roll onto your left side. Take a moment there just to relax. All right, and then take your left hand straight out in front, right palm on top. Walk your right hand a little bit farther away from you. And same deal, you're gonna take your right arm up and reach it over. And your head can follow your right hand. You can take your gaze, excuse me. Too early for that, huh? You can take your gaze straight up. Whatever feels better on your neck. And same thing here, you're just gonna breathe. You can keep your eyes closed if you want. Just enjoy that soft opening through your right shoulder, your right chest, even across your upper back, maybe even down into your low back and your outer hips. It is a pretty big twist. One more breath. All right, come back up through the middle and reshuffle again. And you're gonna take the blanket, if it's a super high blanket, and just bring it a little bit lower. You can get rid of it completely. I'm just doing that because we're gonna start to kind of neutralize a little bit. So if you're super high up on a blanket, can lower it down just a hair, right? And then you're gonna take your right leg and bring it over your left, and then drop both legs in. Feel that outer right hip lengthen away from your armpit, and you can walk your hands down your shins. If you're super open in your hips and you can grab the outer edges of your feet, then more power to you. But if that feels super crunchy, then just find someplace along the shins there. Flex your feet and let your heels move away from each other a little bit here. Take a breath in. And when you exhale, legs are gonna stay crossed, but drop your left foot to the floor, arms out to the sides again, and let both knees fall over to the right for another twist. Inhale, come back up through the middle. And this is why I had you kind of lower your head a little bit. You're gonna bring your arms alongside your body, press into your left foot, and just lift your hips. So we're in just a slightly different version of bridge pose here. Take a breath in. And when you exhale, you're gonna lower it down. Keep your left foot on the floor and draw your right leg into a half happy baby. That's it, okay? And now we're gonna push into this right foot, lift the left foot off the floor, get a little momentum going, and we're gonna come all the way up. Step your right foot forward and just kind of shift your weight and send your left leg back behind you. Coming into just a low lunge, sink your hips and lift up. Feel your shoulders roll down your back. Maybe rock a little bit forward and back if you're feeling super tight and you need to ease into it a little bit more. You can always grab those blocks. And I'll tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. And I know you don't have much to give today, but I'm gonna ask you to give just a little. From here, we're gonna take this left foot and kick it all the way through. Oh, that was a lot. And then see if you can kind of aim yourself toward that blanket if it's there. And we're gonna roll back again. Bring in the right, the right knee in. Left leg's gonna stretch up straight. And then take your right leg, kick it all the way out. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. We're just gonna hold here for a moment. Press up through your heel and push out through your right heel. That's it. Maybe roll out your ankle. Point and flex. Yeah. All right. And then you're gonna bend your right knee, right foot on the floor, cross your left leg over your right, and then we're gonna do the same thing on this side, right? Pull your knees in, can grab your shins. That outer left hip is gonna wanna curl up towards your armpit because it doesn't wanna stretch. So keep lengthening through your left side as much as possible. And you might notice that maybe you have more room on this side, so maybe you wanna grab the feet. Maybe you have less room on this side and you need to go a little bit closer to your knees. It is what it is. Let's try to relax through your shoulders. Yeah, take a breath here. And when you exhale, arms out to the sides, drop your right foot to the floor, and then send your knees over to the left. Yeah, sweet. And then come back up through the middle. Arms come right alongside, shoulder blades into the back, press into your right foot and lift your hips again. This funky little bridge just to get stuff moving. Inhale. And when you exhale, lower it down and draw the left leg into a half happy baby. Yeah. Nice. All right, now the same thing here. You're gonna keep your grip on your foot or even grab the back of your knee, right? Then we're just gonna get some momentum going. You got this. And step your left foot forward and take your right foot back. Drop your right knee and take a moment here. Kind of sink a little bit into your lunge. Again, if it's super tight and you need some more, gentle, you need to gently come into it, you can rock back and forth. But find a place where you can, for just a moment, sink into it, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And then from here, you're gonna tuck your back toes under, right on that blanket. Lift your back knee, it doesn't matter. And then here we go. Tap a little deeper into that energy reserve, and we're gonna kick this right leg through. Grab the left knee. Oh, I'm gonna miss it. We're gonna roll down and aim for that blanket. And now we're here, right leg stretching up, left knee into your chest. And now we switch, hands behind the right thigh, kick the left leg out. Give yourself a moment to stretch into the back of your right leg. Then maybe roll out your ankle and point and flex. Yeah, okay. And then you're gonna bring the right leg into a happy baby and left leg into, why not? And give yourself a moment to rock a little bit side to side. And here we go, we're gonna roll up again. I know you love it. Grab the backs of your knees if you want a little bit more support. And we're gonna roll up and back and up and back. And just keep rolling like this. I don't know. For me, this kind of charges me up. This is like my recharge. And when you're ready to be done with this ridiculousness, you can take your feet to the mat and your hands behind you. And we're gonna come right here. Fingertips pointing toward your seat as long as your wrists aren't dying. Roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. If your wrists are dying, you can flip your fingertips out to the sides and just kind of maybe move with a little bit more, softness. I don't know what that means, but I said it anyway. Roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. Oh, goodness. All right, confessions of a yoga teacher. Sometimes we say stuff that makes absolutely no sense. All right, you're gonna press into your feet and lift your hips and come on up. Oh, a little reverse table. Maybe rock a little bit forward and back here. Ooh, get into those wrists. If coming into a deeper stretch in your wrist feels like a good idea, you can keep your butt a little bit closer to your heels and then drop it to the floor. Stay rooted through your heels of your hands. Lift through your chest and breathe. When you're ready to get out of this crazy, press into your feet, lift up, and come back with your hips. Settle them into the floor and give yourself a moment to roll out through the wrists. You got it. Excellent. All right, and now again, hands are gonna come behind you. Take your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. And you can make this a deeper stretch by moving your left foot forward or moving it back. Keep that right foot flexed. Lift your chest toward your calf and breathe. And now you're gonna take that right foot and just plop it over to the side. Ah, feels good. Keep your chest lifted, kind of angled toward the front of your mat. And then back up through the middle here. You're gonna grab a hold of your right foot and your right knee. Let your left leg kind of blop out to the side. We're just gonna do some circles here. And then in the other direction. Yep, and then forklift underneath. Keep your shoulders rolled back. Nice long spine here. Itch your forehead when needed. Why not? All right, you can stay here if this feels good and is deep enough. You can bring your foot into the crook of your elbow and the knee into the other. You just want to make sure you're not kind of sickling your foot, right? Keep your foot flexed, almost like you're stepping on your left bicep while you're here. Yeah. All right, and then you're gonna grab the outer edge of your foot with your right hand and draw it in for a seated happy baby. And then kick this leg straight forward. Walk your hands down your leg if you need more space for your hamstring. Shoulders roll back, push through your heel and lift into your chest. It's glorious. And then you're gonna take your left hand to the outer edge of your right foot and start to just walk your right hand behind you. Sit nice and tall, and as you kick your foot toward the front of your mat, spin your chest toward the back of the mat. Yeah, it's good. And now we're gonna come back through the middle and take your right arm, sail it up and over and grab the inside edge of your leg. So now your wrists are crossed and you feel just a little bit fancy. And then you're gonna bend your right knee and place your foot on the mat. Here we go. Roll it forward. And again, you're gonna step it back. Drop your back knee, sink your hips. You can get rid of the padding back there. Roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. Maybe let your head go a little bit side to side. You can roll little half circles while you're here. From shoulder to shoulder. Yeah. All right. And then from here, you're gonna tuck your back toes, shimmy your foot a little bit farther away, and then drop your knee again. Sink your hips slightly deeper in here. Plant your left hand, right hand to the top of your right thigh, lengthen, and give yourself a twist. Feel your right shoulder roll open. If you want to add a quad stretch here, you can bend your back knee. It's one of my favorite poses. Kind of takes your breath away a little bit. You can grab the outer edge of your left foot. Yeah, that's it. And then we're going to release down. Okay, sweep this left foot out to the side. You're going to walk your left hand forward slightly. It's wonky, but true. And now you're going to take your right foot back. So this is gonna suck. And I know that I said this is a practice if you don't have anything left in the tank. Well, now we're gonna use what's left in the tank. So knee, hip, and shoulder in a straight line. You wanna try to keep yourself from doing this, right? And come straight down. It makes it feel better. It doesn't, it makes it harder. We're gonna lift this right leg up and then lower it down. And we're just gonna do 10 lifts. And we're already at 3. Yep. 6, see, easy, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold the leg up, and then we're gonna draw circles, 10 circles. I'm not gonna count for you. You can count for you. I'm watching you though. Oh God, I stopped counting for myself. 10 in the other direction. Keep your tailbone long. We're almost there. Keep it going. Okay, and then draw your right knee in. You're gonna step your right foot in front of your left knee and sit down. So now we're on this outer left hip here, and we're gonna bring that left shin parallel to the back of the mat and drop your butt down so we're in an Agni Stambhasana, shins stacked parallel. If this is horrible, heel in, and then you can bring your right shin in front. So we're in a little Sukhasana variation. Totally legal here. Flex your feet, fingertips behind you, roll your shoulders back. This one takes the breath away too, not gonna lie. You can sit up nice and tall. If you're not feeling super tight, you can start to shift your weight forward. If that feels like junk, then keep your hands behind you and just hang out where it doesn't feel like you want to die because your legs are falling off from the waist down. I mean, sometimes that's how it feels. Okay, if you've folded over your legs, come on back up. Now you're gonna drop your right foot over to the side, take your left hand behind you. Straighten the left leg out, press into your feet, lift yourself up. Here we go. Take a breath in, and then right hand to the mat, step it back into plank. So we're facing the front end of the mat again. Find your plank here, press the floor away, and breathe. Inhale. When you exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Take a second. It's our first one. So, you know, do what feels good while you're here. And then gaze forward. Slide your shoulders over your wrists. Bend your knees. Chest and chin are going to come down. Baby Cobra. Curl it up. Inhale. Exhale, release your forehead. Tuck your toes. Dig a little deeper. Plank pose. And downward facing dog. All right, take your gaze forward and walk or hop your feet up for Utkatasana. We're gonna hang here for a second. Halfway lift, lengthen out, and then fold again. Bend your knees, lift your chest, take your arms right alongside your ears. Utkatasana, chair pose. Take your feet wide. Give yourself a little room here. You're gonna sink your hips. Coming into Malasana. And once you get into your Malasana, shift a little bit side to side. Yeah. And then bring your hands behind you. Take your butt back in space a little bit, and we're here again. Fingertips point in. If you're not super cranky through the wrists and shoulders, if you've got some tightness, fingertips out to the side. Left ankle, top of the right thigh. Roll those shoulders back and lift your chest. Here we go. Modify by moving that right foot in or out. Play with it. Full breath here. And then we're going to grab a hold of that foot and just kind of make some circles in that hip. And then in the other direction. Yes. Okay, then fork lifted under. Here we go. Yeah. You can stop here. Or if you're feeling good, take it a little deeper in. Use that left foot to kind of step on your right bicep here. That's it. And then grab the outer edge of your foot. Draw it in. A half happy baby. And then a heron pose, stretch that leg straight, and you can grab your foot or anywhere along the leg that works for you. Pull your arm bones back and lift your chest. And breathe. All right, now you're going to take your right hand to the outer edge of your foot or the outer edge of your leg and start to sneak your left hand back. Stay lifted through your chest as much as you can. Kick forward as you spin your chest back. Then back through the middle. You can wind the left arm up and grab for the inside edge. So now we're fancy again. Wrists cross. Feeling pretty. Lift your chest. All right, and then you're going to take your left foot. Step it forward, shift your weight, and take this right leg back. Okay, drop your knee. Come onto your fingertips, roll your shoulders back. Nice low lunge here. Sink through your hips. And then you're gonna tuck those toes, shimmy your foot back a little bit farther. So your knee's just a wee bit farther away from your heel and sink into there. Ooh. And then plant your right hand on the floor or a block if that feels better. Left hand to your left thigh, lengthen your spine, give yourself a twist here. And the twist can stay just as it is. If you want to add the quad stretch, bend that back knee. Grab for your foot. Keep your left shoulder rolling open. Inhale. Ooh, when you exhale, we're gonna release. Okay, so now from here, right hand's gonna walk forward a little bit. Spin your right toes out behind you so you've got something to balance on, and then sweep the left leg back. So we wanna find a place where, excuse my back, you have this knee, hip, and shoulder kind of in a straight line as much as you can. It makes it harder, I'm sorry, but it does. Okay, Hand to your hip. Now we're going to do the leg lifts here through the left leg, okay? Come on up and down. Here's 3. We got this. 4. 3 more. 8. 9. Did I skip a bunch of numbers? I feel like maybe I did. It doesn't matter. Circles. 10 circles, like you're scrubbing the wall. As steady as you can be through the hips. And 10 in the other direction. Go. That was a lot of 10s. All right, you're gonna draw your left knee in, step it right in front of your right knee, and now drop your right hip to the floor and roll to sit. I know we're not on the mat. If you're super, uncomfortable with that, you can shuffle yourself over. And we're gonna stack those shins. Again, right shin can come in a little bit, left shin in front, if it feels more comfortable to be here on your hips or your knees or, your ankles too. Hands come behind you. Sit nice and tall as you inhale. If you want to, when you exhale, start to rock yourself forward. It's a perfectly legitimate thing to do here. All right, walk your hands back underneath you. Come on up. From here, right hand's gonna come back toward the top of the mat. Stretch your right leg out. Step your left foot in front of your right shin. Press into everything that's on the ground. That is clear and concise directions right there. And lift up into your modified Vashisthasana. Take your top arm up. Inhale. And when you exhale, plank. Keep pushing into the floor. Shoulders into your back. Inhale. When you exhale, lower your knees. Chest and chin. Baby Cobra. Curl it up. Keep pressing down through the tops of your feet, legs nice and strong. We're going to stay for 3 more breaths. Feel your chest stretch forward. All right, tuck your toes. Tap into that deeper reservoir here. Plank, push it up. Downward facing dog, take it back. Oh, let your hips sway a little bit. Yeah. All right, from here, gaze forward, walk, Uttanasana, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Press into the floor, come all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, sweep up, and hands down through prayer. All right, inhale, come out and up. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana. Halfway lift as you inhale. And fold again. Gonna bend your knees, sink your hips. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Take your feet a little bit wider, toes open. We're gonna lower it down again into a squat. Yeah, because who doesn't love a good squat pose? If you need to sit on a block here because this is not great for your knees, you can sit up on a block. Blanket under your heels. Take another breath or two as you kind of press into your inner knees, feel your chest lift up. All right, hands are gonna come to the mat. Step your left foot back. So now we're here in a lizard pose. Come high into your fingertips, sink your hips. Drop the weight of your hips down though as you lift your left thigh up. Yes, inhale. When you exhale, walk yourself to center. Prasarita Padottanasana, fold. Walk your fingertips away. Drag your sitting bones back. Give yourself a moment here. Yes. All right, walk your hands back underneath you. Gonna open those right toes for warrior 2. Windmill it up. And push down into your feet. And feel where that gives you more. Yes. Straighten your front leg. Trikonasana, triangle pose, come out and over. And breathe here. Can use a block under your hand. If this top arm's feeling cranky, you can always bring your hand to your hip. Deep breath. And then we're gonna windmill it down, left hand to the inside of your right foot. Pivot on the ball of your back foot, sweep your right arm up, find a twist here. Inhale. Exhale, take your right hand down to the floor, step it back, plank, and vinyasa, however you wanna go. Downward facing dog. Up and back. Gaze forward and tiptoe to the top of the mat. Utkatasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Utkatasana, chair pose, sink your hips, arms up. Take a breath here. Then we're gonna toe heel those feet open and sink back down into your malasana. Grab your blanket, grab your block, whatever it is you need to feel comfortable here. Yes. All right, hands to the floor. This time, as your butt lifts, step your right leg back. Coming into a high lizard lunge. Roll your shoulders back. Push through your heel. Oh, yeah. Inhale. When the exhale comes, walk it through center. Parallel those feet and fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. This time, if you want to walk your hands through your legs, you know, why not? All right, from here you're gonna bring your hands back underneath you. We're gonna hang here for just a second, right? You're gonna take your right hand and walk it straight forward out in front. And then left hand's gonna reach through toward the outer edge of your right leg, but bend your left knee. So your left knee's gonna stay bent. And pull just gently with that left hand and start to kind of spin your chest so it faces underneath the armpit there. And let your left elbow drop toward the floor like there was a little bit of a weight on it. Breathe here. And when you exhale, we're gonna release. Same thing, left hand walks out in front, right hand's gonna reach for the outer edge of your left leg, and then soften your right knee, lengthen, and then give yourself a little tug with that right hand. Right elbow stays heavy, like it could drop toward the floor. Full breath. And then let it go. Hands come back underneath you. Now we're gonna walk toward that left foot. Spin the left toes open. Viratu, come on up. I know, you got nothing left to give, but you do have a little something. I mean, maybe you're back to laying on the floor. That's cool too. But let's give it a whirl. Warrior two. There's some strength in there yet. And then press into your left foot, straighten your leg, inhale. Trikonasana, come out and over. Find your triangle pose. That side body beat long. Rib cage is just gonna hug in a little bit, right, to help support the length of your spine. You can take your gaze up or down. Inhale. And when you exhale, right hand's gonna windmill down to the floor. Spin the left arm up, find your twist. Deep breath here. And then take your left hand to the floor. Step back into plank. You can hang here in plank. If you want to throw another vinyasa into it, throw another vinyasa into it. And then pull it back. Downward facing dog. Give yourself a moment here. Just to sway a little bit. And then take your gaze forward. This time, you're gonna take your right foot, step it to the outside of your right hand, and left foot somewhere near the outside of your left hand. One more malasana. I know, there's a lot of them in here, but you're just gonna sink. Doesn't have to be too crazy fancy, because now you're just gonna take your butt down to the floor. Yeah, and roll onto your back. See, that wasn't so bad, was it? And once you get down here, gonna place your feet on the mat, about hip distance apart, bring your shoulders in. Just a little bridge action here before we finish up. Press into your feet and lift your hips. You can start to walk the hands in toward each other if you want. Oh. Come a little bit higher up with the hips. And breathe here. Keep your breath steady. I know we're holding it, but just a couple more breaths. And on your exhale, you can release your hands and lower down. Take your feet nice and wide and just windshield wiper legs side to side. And let those knees drop all the way over to the right. You can take your right ankle on top of the left thigh and stretch your left arm alongside your ear. That's it. And then right foot's gonna come back down to the floor. Bring your knees up through the middle and drop them over to the left. And then let your left ankle come on top of your right knee, and right arm's gonna stretch up right alongside your ear here. And then both feet on the floor, come back up through the middle, and then draw your knees in nice and wide. And just rock a little bit here. Like little circles on your low back. Excuse me. Goodness. All right, and then let your feet hit the floor. If you want to grab a blanket or that pillow, put underneath your head again. You can grab a blanket and put it underneath your knees if you feel like you want a little extra. If you're chilly, you can throw the blanket over top. There's so many options. There's so many blanket options. Just get yourself comfortable, settled in. Let your eyes slide closed and breathe. And while you rest here, let your awareness move along the rhythm of your breath, but also feel that undercurrent of energy. A little bit of dust that we kicked up from your practice today. And even though we started class maybe feeling like you had nothing left to give, maybe you can start to feel some of that energy bubbling back up. Feel the reserve tank. We've activated it. And feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Feeling that energy just below the surface. When you're ready to come back into your day, you can start to move your fingers and wiggle your toes. And draw one knee in, and then the other. Come to rest on one side. And press into the strength of your arms. And come on up and find a comfortable seat. Let your eyes slide closed. Once you get up there, if they've come open, settle back into your breath and tune in again to that underlying current of energy, that fuel that's in there that you didn't quite know was there. You thought maybe you were on an empty tank. Bring your palms together into Anjali Mudra and bow your head and honor your practice today, your body and your breath for moving, even though maybe you just didn't feel like it. We all have those days. So honor those moments, and then honor when you can dig in a little deeper, when you can find that reserve energy, and when you realize that there is a little strength left. Honor those moments too. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you for practicing with me. You know I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you liked what you saw, you can give a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Share with a friend, all that good stuff. And there's some more practice up there. The library is getting big. So make it a great day.